All right, we're going to see if everything is working correctly here. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully I have sound. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comments section that you can hear me. That way we make sure that everything is working properly. I'm going to look down here where I can see my comment section, and hopefully I get like a thumbs up or a I can hear you or something like that coming within the next couple of moments. I know that there's a little bit of delay. I can hear you. I see it there. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Hopefully video looks good. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. It's been quite a while since I have done this. So hopefully it's all going to work smoothly. Really, this is a test run to make sure that my live streaming setup that I've got currently is going to function properly. I'm not sure how long I'll go tonight. We'll see. But we're going to get a little bit of work done on those Enterprise E's. And if you have any questions about any of the projects that are on the bench currently, whether it's the Enterprise E's, the big Enterprise D, small Enterprise D, whatever, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. And let me just see what these comments are. I hear you. Sounds good. You? Hi, OG Trekman Online. Love the work you do. It's great. Give a shout out to Boyd at Trekworks. Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to go and see what he's doing, support him in his medical journey, suggest that you go check that out. I could not imagine being, as a Canadian, I can't imagine going through what he's going through in the States and having all of those bills and all that kind of stuff. We are truly blessed here to have the medical support that we have with our healthcare. So I just can't imagine having to go through that with bills coming in. So please make sure that you support him there. Yeah, so it looks like we are working, and we might as well get right at it. So I'm going to have my coffee here. I have the workbench in front of me, well, one of them in front of me anyway, and I'm going to make sure that I can switch over here to the workbench. Hopefully you can see the workbench. Hopefully you can see me now in the corner too. And that's likely how I'm going to get this running so you can see what I'm working on. There's nothing here right now because everything's just over behind me. But you should be able to get a good top-down view of what's going on. Don't worry about all the blinky winky lights over here. That's the video interface, and I can just see what's going on in the chat here right in front of me. So yeah, let's get right at it. Let's get that aside. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, I'll just give you a look here. Pointy ear. Yeah, science. That's my coffee. All right, we're going to be working on Enterprise E's tonight. So I've got two over here, and I am still working on getting these things closed up. So the wiring has been what I'm working on consolidating right now. And what I find challenging about this part of it is that I did the wiring a number of months ago, so I have to make sure that I take my time so that I'm consolidating everything down properly, connecting the right circuits together. I don't want to run into any issues because I've done anything at this point wrong, so I will take my time with it. When will you be working on the big Enterprise D? Good question. I have the big Enterprise D over on another table, just over where you can't see behind the camera. I am working with Motion Picture Miniatures over in England to create a masking set, an Aztec masking set for this massive kit. So that's what we're in the moment. I can actually show you kind of where we are at that process. If you just give me one moment and I'll switch back over this camera. Let me just grab the saucer pieces here, because the saucer is what we've been working on. And let me move the Enterprise E out of the way for a moment. Here, let me just switch back. Here is the top saucer. of the big, huge Enterprise, and there is a whole pile of vinyl on that right now. So what we were basically doing is trying to get his 1400 scale masking set to be upsized and fit onto this saucer. There's going to be differences between the various different kits, so it's a bit of a trial and error. He sends me the vinyl print file. I print it here on my cutter, lay it down, take the necessary measurements, send that back to him, and he makes the adjustments and kind of goes back and forth. So we're doing pretty well on the top. A few things need to be done in the back here, but we've been working our way around. Excuse me. And then this is the bottom section that we're working on. And we're just working on getting the big panel sections to fit, because then everything else will line into place once those big sections fit. So yeah, that's kind of where things are at with the Enterprise D. I'm also waiting for another part to come from the kit manufacturer. It is a metal plate that goes into the secondary hull for support with the armature, and that comes separately because it's manufactured separately from the kit. So the actual kit comes from Hong Kong, and the metal parts with the decals will come from Germany. So those are just coming at a different time. Let's see. Boy doesn't know G2 original. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, that's where we're at right now with the Enterprise D. I'm also working on sourcing some solar res for all of these windows. All these windows are nicely cleaned out already in the manufacturing process, so I'll be light blocking the inside, and then once that's done I will be filling these with clear. So I am sourcing solar res because I can't easily get it here in Canada, and I don't want to take a chance on a EV curing resin that I'm unfamiliar with, that other people haven't really used all that much. So I'm heading down to the States shortly, so I will be getting some while I am down there, and hopefully enough to do the entire project. Well, this one and a whole other one as well. So hopefully that'll get done. The Enterprise D is really amazing. Looks like Helios did a quality print. Yeah, it is. It looks really, really good. There are a couple issues. One of the issues, let me just grab the bottom of the warp engine here. And I guess I should also grab the pylon to show you. I didn't notice this at first in my review video. I was talking with Lou Dalmasso, who's also got one of these, and he noticed this. So there's no, yeah, let me get this in camera here. There's no alignment groove or alignment pins where the engine meets the pylon. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge to make sure that those are properly aligned and well secured, because on most kits you would have like a tongue and groove type of thing to get those secured in. So that's not present here. So that'll be challenging, but given how much little construction work is going to have to go into this compared to the 1000 scale that I was working on, this one's going to be quite a breeze compared. So there's a few things. There's also the grid lines missing on the ship. It is completely smooth. So we're missing the radial lines coming out from the center, which is making our masking alignment a little bit more tricky. I've got some lines that I have worked on to get here so that we can get the masking down. There's also some strange window placement alignments that don't line up with where they are on the studio model. But all in all, a really, really well done kit so far from what I can tell. I think it's going to be a dream to put this thing together, and I'm looking forward to getting started on that. So as soon as we get the saucer masks sorted as far as their final placement, alignment on those large sections, I will be getting to work on it right away. Let me get back here, and let me get an Enterprise E back on the bench. All right. So, Did you say you are building metal armature for it? It actually comes with an armature system, and I'll have to look at that a little bit more closely to see how that's going to work with the kit. But there is a metal plate that goes in the secondary hull, kind of where the two halves go together in there for support. And there's also a custom-made resin piece that was printed that goes in for the armature. I'll have to see how the saucer section is supported, how much support that's going to need. So I will kind of make those adjustments as I go. Nobody's built this on YouTube before, so I can't just go to somebody else's channel and just see how they've done it. I've got to really work and make sure that I figure this thing out for myself. So shouldn't be too much of a problem. I mean, I had to do a metal armature on the Don Choco 1000 scale E D, so should be able to do something similar there. I want to make sure that it has all the support that it needs. The first of the Enterprise Ds are going to Belgium, so good bit of excuse me, good bit of shipping going on with that one, shipping it overseas. So I want to make sure that there's absolutely no risk of anything happening, and you don't want anything to happen over time as gravity takes hold of these ships. So yeah, I will kind of play that by ear as it goes in the build of that, and I'm looking forward to getting started on that as soon as I possibly can. I do need to get these closed up so I can get to my favorite part of the Enterprise E's, the painting job, and I am so thrilled to be trying out Mask Design's mask set for the Enterprise E. Since the last one I did, and I'll try to see if I can get a picture of the last one I did up on screen for you. That one I did by hand, masking that one by hand. So everybody I talked to as well said that it was impossible to do, and if you tell me something's impossible, I'm probably going to try to prove you wrong on it. Let's see, just going into my final pictures, yeah, here we go. Let's see if I can just dump this in here and throw it on screen. All right, so this is the last Enterprise E I did. Let's get my face out of the way there. Okay, this is the last Enterprise E I did, fully painted. There was no masking set available for it at that time. It was completely done with blue painter's tape cut up into little pieces and meticulously applied. The very thinnest strips cut with a very sharp X-Acto and a metal rule in order to get the really thin lines on it. But it turned out really, really well, and I've been really happy to see that more people have tried painting it since, which is awesome. And getting the Mask Design mask set for that is really good. So I'm hoping that it turns out as well as that one did. And if it does, if it turns out as well as that one did, I'll be happy with it. So, the masking set looks really good. It looks like it is, all the details are small enough. So I've got two sets of those for these two. I'll be doing those right on camera to show how those work and all those results, so you can see if you want to use those masks for yourself. All right, so what I want to start with tonight is just getting some more of this wiring hooked up. You might be able to tell. Let me just move this better into frame here. Give me one moment. All right, so you can see I've been working on consolidating the wiring down. So I'll go down the tube and out the bottom. The control board, the Arduino, is going in the base on all of these. So all of the various different circuits need to run down. I'm using 30 gauge wiring so that I don't run into any problems. How long did it take you to mask the first E? It took a long time. I did not keep track of the hours. If you were to look at these commissioned builds based on an hourly rate, I'd be making pennies, really, just with the amount of time that goes into it, especially a detailed paint job like that. I could not tell you how long it took. But for me, the type of personality I am, doing stuff like that, cleaning out, do I have it here somewhere? it is over with the other Enterprise D. But cleaning out the windows on the 1400 scale Enterprise D I've got to work on is really relaxing. Cleaning out the windows on these E's I find super relaxing. Just like that, I find the painting, doing the masking stuff like that really relaxing. It's really high detail work. I like to say that doing the model work is a great way for me to vent my perfectionist tendencies without annoying other people. So I really enjoy doing it, and so I don't mind that it takes a long time to do that. And I also go for that perfection with the windows, the masking, anything like that. So it takes a ton of time, and I just wouldn't. I would probably cry if I actually kept track of how many hours it would take. So first circuit I want to get finalized here is the Quantum Torpedo Launcher. It's a 0402 SMD that is located in the captain's yacht underneath. I'm not going to take this off right now to show you. But I wasn't going to add it, and so I got the deflector housing and everything installed. And then Danny, my programmer, convinced me to get it installed to add that quantum torpedo effect. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll add it. So I had to do it after the fact, which means that it's got to go up through the saucer and then back down. So just a little bit of a work around there. So I am going to get some longer wires attached to this. The way this is going to be working is the positive is going to go into one of the pins on the Arduino to be able to control it, and then the ground is just common ground to the Arduino. So anything that's going to be grounded on the Arduino, this can connect to. So I just need to choose a color. So far I've got blue, white, yellow for effects lighting, I think. Well, I've got everything labeled on here, so I am going to run. Actually, I ran the data for Warp, and I ran the data for Buzzards. All in blue. Okay, I think I was just using blue to get the wiring through the pylons there. All right, let's see. I've got white for interior lighting. What color do I have? Okay, I've got orange for, what is that? Orange is for, let me track this back. I did not label it. That's going to be for white flashers. Okay. Orange is for white flashers. I should write that down somewhere. But I will go back to this video and the replay of this and get that if I need it. Orange is for white flashing. And let's go with purple for the Quantum Torpedo Launcher. So I'm going to just get enough of this to go all the way down to the base. Oh, I also need to install the second, the second observation deck for the shuttle bay. So I don't want to make sure I lose that. I want to make sure I don't lose that. There we go. Live stream is a little bit different because I can't redo something if I mess up what I am saying. All right, so let's get some wire going on here. That should be more than enough. And let's see, it's about 65 centimeters, give or take. So I'll get a second one because I've got two of these things on the go. I'm a bit of a sucker for punishment right now. I'm going to be working on I'm working on 2 Enterprise E's back to back here, well, side by side. I'm going to be working on 2 Enterprise 650 scale Enterprise D's side by side if the second one arrives soon enough. Figure that might as well assembly line it. I'm not going to do a video for a second Enterprise D project if I do it separately. So might as well do it all at once. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully it works out quite well. All right. I love this. It's called wire wrapping wire. It's 30 gauge, and I can just peel off the sheath with my fingernails. Works out quite well. So I've got my, let me just put the other saucer top back here. I have my iron warming up. Normally I do my soldering back there, and my solder is on my right hand side normally, and it's on my offhand at the moment, so that might throw me off a little bit because I don't normally do this kind of work at this desk. It just works out better for the live stream. All right, let's see here. And if at any time there's anything weird going on with the stream, whether it is sound or video or buffering or anything like that, please do let me know. Because again, this is the first time I have done this in quite some time. I think the last live stream I did for model building was back when I was masking the other Enterprise E, so it's been a very long time. All right, want to make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. Nope. All right. You guys still here with me? Hopefully you're still here with me. All right. Hopefully this is nicely warmed up. And I like to put some pins on the end that is not being connected. And I have a bunch right here. I'm kind of getting low on these. Essentially, they're just offcuts from LED. I'm forgetting what they're called. Anyway, they're the metal pins coming out of the LEDs. I am going to kick myself for forgetting what those are called. So I like to add those to one of the ends. That way the wire can go into the Arduino a little easier for testing, because this 30 gauge wire really does not hold up trying to put that into the Arduino. Now I'm going to be doing soldering on camera. This is going to be a new thing for me, soldering on camera. Yay! It's like redstoning on camera. Usually doesn't work out too well. All right, where is this? I've already got a metal piece on here, and this one did not work out very well. Let's see. Yep, still here, just working on my refit. Very nice. Is that a 350 refit? You know, I have yet to do a 350 refit. I have, let's see, 2 of them sitting on my shelf over there, and I've just never gotten around to doing one. I need a little bit of tape. Let's see, where did that go? All right. It's a little short to go to my working hands, so I'm working around my working hands, or helping hands, or whatever they're called. I need to get that existing pin off of there. So my forceps are here. I don't want to touch the pin while I'm adding heat to it. I mean, I guess we could use the heat. It's Canada. we've got lots of snow outside. Actually, we don't have a ton of snow. I'm getting old. I gotta take my glasses off to see the soldering up close. Anybody else having that problem where you have to take your glasses off now to see what you're doing? All right. One of the issues I find with the 0402 SMDs, the 30 gauge wire, and just how small it is that I have a hard time getting my smallest of small shrink tube, wires all over the place, getting my smallest of smallest shrink tube to actually shrink down small enough. Let's see, need about this. A lot of builders I have seen do not worry about. Oh, I want to attach this to the little pin, and my face is in the way there. All right. A lot of builders seem to leave exposed. Again, my glasses. Leave exposed wiring in their builds. They don't shrink tube everything. I am one of the guys that likes to protect everything. Shrink tube everything. I know you don't really need to if you, as long as one is shielded from the other, but I just don't like to take the risk of any sort of problems happening. It is. I'm assuming that means that yes, it is the 350 refit. Are you doing it as a or as the original refit? There's a few things I like about the A better than I like about the original refit, but you can't beat that original motion picture refit paint scheme. It's kind of a shame what they did to that model, but I get it from a filming point of view. All right. When I renovated this garage for a workspace, I made sure that I had a ton of electrical available at the workbench. So I've got 4 and 4 at the workbench, and then I've got a computer desk on the other side of the workbench where I do the video editing and any of the computer work for decals or masking or anything like that. I've got another 2 set up there. With my Wrath of Khan movie poster. Actually, let's see here. Let me just go like this. And can I take you with me? There's my calendar, an old license plate, and movie poster with the really messy desk. So I wanted to make sure I had lots of electrical. All right, this is going to be loud. I'm just going to mute the audio on this for a moment while I put the heat on this. I don't know how loud that heat gun is for you. I just have to let it run and cool off before I power it down completely here. You're doing the A. Nice. You know, there are some things I really like about the A, and it's kind of a shame that more people don't do the A, and I've heard the shuttle bay is a lot easier on the A. That the original refit does not fit. Okay, so that's the extension on the quantum torpedo positive, and because the shrink tube, these wires are so thin, what I like to do is I like to actually pinch them with my hand, pinch the shrink tube with my fingers once it's heated, just to make sure that it gets a good lock on those wires. All right, let's feed this down through here. I'm not going to feed it down through the actual post yet, but I'll just get it down through the access. Ah! I'm caught on a wire bundle there. But I'll feed it into through the wire access area here, and I will feed everything down through the post at once. And I am going to label this right away. Actually, I could run that right underneath those other wires and it'd be a little bit more secure. I'm going to do that. I want to be very gentle with all these fine wires. There we go. Yeah, let's run this underneath. There we go. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing surgery on these things. Of course, pulling that through with my wrong hand. There we go. Caught on that light strip. I'm amazed how well the lighting goes through this thing and how little interior window lighting is needed to do this kit properly. All right, and then that'll get epoxied down here so it doesn't move. There we go. And we're just going to use black for the other, but before I move on, where are my big scissors? Here they are. What stage on your A are you at? What are you working on right now? I'm always curious about the projects that other people are doing. That's why it's so fun that there's a number of people doing this on YouTube, because you get to see not just what projects other people are doing, but the ways that they do them differently. So, for example, Lou Dalmaso is going to be working on the 650 Enterprise D as well, and he's going to be doing his on his channel, and there's a good chance that we will be working on them excuse me, that we will be working on them at the same time, because I take forever to build. So I'm just looking for a Sharpie that actually works. There we go, there's my working Sharpie. Fine point of these Sharpies always dies first, but then I don't want to get rid of it because the big end still works. So this is quantum. So quantum Q launch positive. That way I will know what that is. All right, and let's get some black for the negative. Make it about the same. But yeah, so Lou is going to be building his, and we'll probably be building them at the same time because I take forever to build. One, because it's my side gig, not my daytime job. Two, I have young kids, and so like last week when I wanted to live stream, my son just would not go to sleep, and he's in a phase where he wants either myself or my wife to lay in bed and hold his hand while he falls asleep, and he won't fall asleep right now without that. So that's why last week's, well, I also had some technical issues that seem to have been dealt with quite well here. Couldn't get that overhead shot to work properly last week, but it's working out pretty well now. But he just will not go to bed without us. So yeah, things come up with the family, daytime job, which can make it a challenge to get a good solid amount of time at the bench working. So I do tend to take a lifetime, it seems, to build these things. Definitely not the fastest guy on YouTube, but I try to make up for that in other areas, like the pushing the boundaries of some detail that's out there. Again, glasses, getting old. Let's see. I joke about getting old. I'm still one of the younger guys doing this on YouTube. There's a few of us around my age in our early mid-40s doing this. I would love to see more like really younger guys or girls getting involved, not just in the hobby, but in content creation for the hobby online. I think that would be pretty cool to see that. Because if we don't spread this hobby to the younger generation, it will die out. Okay, I do this all the time. There it is. I put something down, can't find it. And if it was a snake, it would jump out and bite me. Although we don't have biting snakes here in Canada. We just have nice cold, snowy weather. All right, let's see. What am I doing now? I'm going to get another metal. I'm down to like really short ones here. I need to figure out a way of getting some metal pins like this from a different location other than just the LEDs, because I'm using fewer and fewer lone LEDs anymore. The D's got a few of them. There's a few 5mm LEDs in the D. There's 2 in each Bizard. There's 1 in the photon launcher. There's 1 or 2 in the impulse, and I think that's it. And then I think the only place I use them in the D's is there's 3 of them in each Bizard, and there's 2 or 1. How many are there? 1 in each impulse engine. So, all right, let's get the post on here. I'm always losing my solder. I actually have a designated place. I didn't like how this was tinned up to start with, so I have a designated place for my solder right on these helping hand things. The problem is that I would have to remember to put it back there, which is where it's supposed to go, so that I don't lose it. But most of the time I lose it. Okay, let's see here. Come on. You can do it. Oh, there's probably some old solder on here. Get that cleaned off. Because I sometimes use these pins multiple times. Yeah, it looks like there was some old solder on there. Let's try that again. I don't really care how well. Nope. I don't really care how well this is done here, because this is all going to be changed. I'm going to go with a different pin, because I think this one's been used. Ooh, that's hot. Couple too many times. I don't trust my iPad to be keeping up on the chat. Oh, I guess it is. I just don't want to miss anything that anybody is saying. There we go. Feedback. Feedback would be good. Are things looking okay with the top-down shot? The me in the corner there. Is that all looking good? Oh, I forgot something. Let me see here. Give me one moment. I'm going to have to... Yeah. Did it go in? All right. Let's see here. You have no idea what I'm doing. I know. Okay, I understand. But you will see this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. You will understand it in a moment, because this is always in my videos, and it is missing here today. There we go. Much better. All right, logo is in the bottom. All right. There we go. Okay, let's get a fresh pin. Here they are. I'm down to the smallest of the pins. Yeah, I'm not using as many of those standalone LEDs anymore. So if you know of anywhere I can get just lengths of metal, the same glasses, the same as the leads on LEDs, I would love to know, because I'd love to just like order a batch of them so that I can use them for these pins. Because it makes it a lot easier to get this stuff into like Arduinos or breadboards or anything like that. This one is fighting me. I wonder what's going on with this. Let me doing half of this, half blind without my glasses. Let me just put a little bit more. This is one reason why I like to do this part before I actually connect it to the LED, because I don't want heat running through the unnecessary heat running through the wire into the LED and risk burning it. Because if something happens to this wire right now, I really don't care. Wow, that is just not... That is not connecting at all. I'm going to get a completely fresh piece uncovered here and do that. I have not had that kind of problem before. Of course, soldering on camera. Of course it's going to happen now. All right, let's try this again. Tin this up. Could also be having some problems with my solder, I suppose, but I have yet to have an issue with this stuff. We'll see right now when I try to connect it to the pin. Oh, that grabbed. First go. All right. Now hopefully we don't have a problem with this. Let's get my cable management going here. Glasses off. Connect this in. Straighten that out. That went beauty. That one was a beauty. All right. Get the shrink tube on. Get it heated and labeled and, well, fed through and labeled. And then we're on to the next E to do the exact same thing over again. Ooh, because I've already got some shrink tube on there, I'm going to go with a size up to create a join between the two. And I have a nice little piece in my scrap bin there. Looks like it's probably just the right size. And if I can feed it over now, that would be great. I don't mind waiting until I've... Oh no, it's going to go over because it's got to connect with the resistor there. There we go. That should do quite nicely. I'll get that held into the helping hands. Actually, let me move these so I can keep the hot air as far away from the model itself as possible. Okay. There we go. If this is not too loud, I'll keep the audio on. Give it a chance to warm up. Yep, it's working. Working just fine. And the helping hands came loose. Brilliant. But it's on there. And we will feed it through. Just going to let the heat gun cool down there. That's more than enough time. There we go. I'll get that one labeled up. Although that's not as important because I will know that that's a ground. What type of lighting? There's a little heart icon right in the way that's making it hard to read what's on the corners. So, it's on here too. Okay. I'm going to assume that says, what type of lighting do you use? I'm assuming you're asking about control system for it. And if not, if that's not what you're asking, let me know and I will change my answer for you. But I have a guy in the Netherlands who does the programming for me for the Arduinos. And so he programs in all of the lighting effects and all that kind of stuff and onto the sketch. And then that gets loaded onto the Arduino and runs everything. So it's a great way to do it. Q launch, negative. All right. Moving on to the next. Enterprise E. It's a bit of an assembly line process here. Get that over there. And get the next one here. And if you're curious, I am just let me switch to this view. If you're curious, I'm just using wood that I've got around as temporary bases. The outlet for the mount on the inside is just coming down this piece. There's a small piece of the post that's acting as a coupler here, and then I've got a copper T. the reason I've got that is so that I can get all the wires out without them having to go down all the way through the post. And that just makes it a little easier for working. So I've never seen anybody do that before. I don't know if I'm the first one to do it, but it seems to work for me. And so I can take it off the post at the copper T, and instead of all the wires going down straight, they come out the side of the copper T, and allows me to take it on and off the temporary stand, but the wires are all out of the way for me, so works out pretty well. All right, let's see here. Here are the two wires on this one, and we will just do the same thing. So we ran purple. No, I already got that wire. And it's on the floor. All right, let's move the ship out of the way a little bit here. Yeah, the things that you can do with the Arduino now are pretty cool. Well, that allows me to do the phaser fire effect. I don't know who's seen the phaser fire effect, but let's just see. Here, let me switch back here and then see if I can find the phaser fire effect for you. That's going to be in here somewhere. Or it might be, I'm just looking through my files. Give me one moment here. Okay, it's not there. Let's see. Let me just see if this works here. Yeah, no audio. Okay. Let's see if this works. I'm not sure if this is going to work properly. There we go. So that is how I'm able to do this. So this is, there we go. It's all done. So what that is a 2020 LED strips under the saucer, and there's many of them in that array. I don't even remember how many are in this one. I think it's about 70 in the line, 70 or 75, something like that. And so the Arduino lets me do that phaser fire effect that Danny's programmed in, and it looks, in person, it just looks so butter smooth. It's the smoothest phaser effect I have seen to date. Yeah, I might be a little bit biased because it's the one I'm using, but I have not seen an LED phaser fire effect that's quite. Oh. You don't need me twice there. I haven't seen a phaser fire effect that's been quite as smooth as what Danny's allowed me to be able to do there. Which is going to be interesting on that big Enterprise D, because it's got holes pre-made in the phaser ring for 5mm LEDs to go into. I don't think that's going to be high definition enough for me, so I've already got a plan in place for adjusting that so I can do my custom LED strip phaser fire effect. Now, I'm not sure if I will go with 50/50 LED strips in that, or if I'm going to go with the 2020s. I will definitely try the 50/50s first and see if that's high definition enough for it, because the 2020s are incredibly expensive for what you get, but they do give you an absolutely stunning phaser fire effect. The 2020s are actually also what I put into the chiller grills on the 1400Es. Again, because they're so high definition, because there's so many small LEDs crammed into such a small space that you really don't get any hot spots, which is so nice. So I need a pin. Let's get a pin. All right. And hopefully this works out okay, because I've used all of these pins previously, so they've all got some old solder. And I think the problem was that I was using a slightly different solder chemistry previously, and that was probably causing an issue with it connecting. Bonding? Bonding. Bonding would be the correct term. All right. But that one worked fine. Now, here's that. I'm going to need to remove. See, I get one of my pins back here. So I will need to remove that. So let's tape that down. Get my forceps, get the old pin off of that. Oh, I think that one was off a resistor. It's a lot thinner. The resistor ones do not hold up anywhere near as well. All right. Let me just make sure that there's still solder on here. Hate to say this, but I probably really need to look at getting bifocals or something. I looked in on getting... There's an emoji thing that's right in the way of me seeing that. So I will look over here. I looked into getting the Enterprise D. I ended up going for the fan something version of the Enterprise D instead. Is that the one that used to be the Eagle Moss one, where you get the little kit pieces over time and put it together, or over time as you get the additions or the subscriptions or whatever they're called? Is it that one? I've seen a few people doing that. I have no idea what the cost on that thing is, but I could see that being really, really attractive to some of the guys that like to do like Lego builds. I do not like how that is there. Let me get a better connection there. There we go. I always like to make sure that my solders are solid, especially with these tiny, tiny wires, because you don't want anything happening. Because as much as I tried to secure everything down so that you can't get anything pulled, you know, something is going to happen somewhere. A wire is going to get pulled, and you're going to get something disconnected. So I like to try to mitigate that on the front end as much as possible. Sometimes the way I do things could be considered overkill, but I would rather err on the side of caution. All right, let's get that shrink tubed. Now this is going a little bit slower because I'm trying to pay attention to the live stream and the chat and talking a lot, that kind of thing. So it would go faster if I wasn't doing it on camera, but this stuff all is just the fiddly work that takes time. There we go. And while that's cooling down, get a piece of tape and label that off. There we go. If you label things well, it really doesn't matter what color you use for your wires, but I do like to color code. That way I add some mistake proofing into my work. All right, Q launch positive. Ah, I didn't feed it through. Yeah, I'll redo that label. Feed it through, then do the label. That would be the smart thing to do. Feed it through. I'll have to relabel it when I run it down the post as well. But that's fine. I don't mind relabeling a few times during the process. It's just nice if I don't have to do it right away because I forgot a step. Yeah, it is. So it's the subscription based. From what I see, it looks like it's all like fasteners to put it together, so you're not having to glue anything. You can definitely correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it's kind of what I assume based on the little I've seen of it so far. I'm sure I'll get a chance to see one. Is this camera focusing? I am sure I will get a chance to see one in person when I am at Wonderfest. I would like to bring I would love to bring a completed 1400E to Wonderfest to display, but these are going out of the shop the moment that they're done to the clients, and I would like to have another one done for Wonderfest. I've got a kit sitting on the shelf over there just for that purpose, but I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to do it. I'd like to have something on display at Wonderfest, and I'm 100% sure that big Ds are not going to be done in time for Wonderfest, and I don't know that my clients would want me lugging their big Ds to Wonderfest. And I don't know if Jamie Hood would appreciate me displaying one of these Enterprise Ds at Wonderfest. So I think that would be not something I should do, taking them to Wonderfest. All right. There we go. I need a post. Really, I need the posts for testing. What's going to happen once they're all finalized is that they will. Let me see if I can pull one out here. They'll all get attached to these jumper cables that will then pin directly into the Arduinos. Do I have one back here? Yeah, I do. All right. So the wires will get attached to the, so these will get attached, the wires from the ship will get attached to these wires that will then plug in color-coded to the Arduino and will be housed within the base so that it's as foolproof as possible. But I just need the, let me grab a breadboard here. So I just need the pins, those pins on the end, so that they'll go into the breadboard for testing all of the circuits. Because these little flimsy 30 gauge wires just don't cut it in that regard. So let's see, is there a decent one here? I'll use this one here. All right, now I've got a bunch of pins to pick up. All right, I've tinned those wires. I'm just noticing that you can't see what I'm doing because my face is in the way. There we go. Lovely. That one cooperated. Now, tape this down to the hull. Keep it in place for soldering. Tin up this resistor. Grab the wire. Make a good solder. It's a good solder, it just looks a little ugly there. But that's okay. As long as it's a good, clean, like a good bonded solder. Get these put away. Riveting content, this portion. It'd be cool though. Yeah, you're talking about if I could get the big ship there. It would be cool, but I don't think that is gonna happen. Is anybody who's here going to Wonderfest this year? I have never been. This is going to be my first year at Wonderfest. For me, it is a good 12 and a half, 13 hour drive without any stops. And of course, we'll be stopping a few times. Heading down the Friday. Hopefully going to be there. Leave here early enough to make it down to Wonderfest in time to set up my table. Friday night, because I don't want to be scrambling to do it Saturday morning. So hopefully that all works out. Okay, we'll get the heat gun out. Get this, and then that's the quantum torpedo wiring taken care of. I'm not sure how much more I'm going to do tonight on stream, because my goal with the stream was more to make sure that I could get the stream streaming properly. I wasn't quite so concerned about how much work I got done on the stream. So far it's been a success, because I think it's all been working absolutely brilliantly. So cool this down. Turn off the solder iron. And I'll get this fed through and labeled. So has anybody here been to Wonderfest before? Do we have Wonderfest veterans in the room? What I'm really curious about, what I'm really curious about is kind of how people generally attend Wonderfest, because it's 2 full days. Do people usually spend 2 full days participating in Wonderfest, or do people generally like do everything they want to do in one day, and it's like different batches of people coming through each day? I'm kind of just curious how that tends to work, because I know some guys I've seen online seem to spend the whole weekend there. And is there enough going on to spend the whole weekend there? I like to think I may be too far away. I think I may be too far away. Yeah. Well, it is. It's certainly not a day trip from where I am. It's a little bit longer than a day trip. I don't mind doing a turn and burn Kingston here to Toronto and back. It's like 3 hours there, 3 hours back, but much more than that is not fun. Unless I can get somebody to use my Tesla referral code before Wonderfest, because if I can get somebody to use my referral code, then I can have self-driving to Wonderfest, which would definitely take the load of driving off. It's not like actually the car drives itself so much, but it'll do most of the work for you, and I would be far less tired arriving at Wonderfest to set up my table if the car took the heavy lifting work for me. So I'm hoping that somebody will. I've had somebody use my referral code, and which means that the cost of charging there and back is covered, which is great. So, all right, I have that done. My goal for the live stream has been successful, and I work in the morning, so I think I am going to call it a night. So thanks everybody for joining me on the test run. Again, if there's anything that needs to be adjusted in the way things are, whether it's the video or the audio or anything like that, let me know in the comments section, because I don't know otherwise unless I sit down to rewatch the live stream, and I really don't want to do that. So if there's been anything that needs adjusting, let me know. You're able to help me make this better. I'm going to try to do Saturday night live streams regularly, and how long they are will depend on how tired I am. Again, I've got 2 young kids, so some Saturday nights I am just beat. And it'll also depend on how much work I'm going to accomplish within a particular session. So we'll see. But regular videos will be coming out on the projects, and I hope that well, I'm trying to see just what video, what format is going to be best for the various projects. I've been doing what's on the bench, which has been great when I've got like a potpourri of stuff that I'm working on, but I'm definitely going to be doing a specific build series for the big enterprise Ds. So that might shift up how I'm doing things, but I think I might try to do a live stream every Saturday night. We'll see how that goes, no promises, but thank you for joining me. I am going to close this down. Get the starters already off, and drink a little bit more of my coffee and call it a night. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you hopefully next Saturday, 9:30 Eastern, right here.